Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Tech Frenzy. I actually don't like the hat, I don't think. Maybe I won't wear a hat today. Either way, let's talk about what I am talking about today. So, SoFi, a little bit of SoFi. Obviously, they just had a fireside chat. We're going to be talking about Robinhood. We're going to be talking definitely about Shift4. Okay, big interview with their CEO, Jared Isaacman. Lots of news there. We're going to be talking PayPal. PayPal is not stopping right now, guys. Like, it really is very interesting how many new products they're pushing out. But ultimately, there's a reason why the thumbnail was what it was. Amazon, Robinhood, big pushes in AI. Amazon just continues to deliver over and over and over in these last couple of days. We're going to be talking Meta. We're going to be talking Nvidia. Artificial intelligence might just be here. What are we doing live at 11 p.m. on a random Wednesday? You know what I realized? That my schedule has just been shifting later and later. So I've been going like to bed closer to like 3 a.m. And waking up closer to 10. Bad. Devis, what's up, buddy? I didn't think you actually read your X messages. But let's get in quickly, and then Tevis, I'll send you another message in a minute. But Amazon news is pretty interesting, and I wanted to talk about that. Should we get into that or PayPal first? Let's just cover PayPal news really quickly, and then we'll jump into Amazon. So first off, Venmo unleashes the next phase of commerce with the Venmo debit card in Venmo checkout. So yes, once again, pushing out new products and announcing the acceleration and expansion of commerce capabilities, including even more benefits for customers to use their Venmo balance beyond peer-to-peer payments. That's exactly it, right? Their debit card, which I wish and I pray that it is being used through Galileo, but it isn't, and that's fine. But either way, Venmo is pushing out products alongside PayPal, also pushing out this real large campaign for omni-channel presence, right? Not just being online, but being in person as well. But Venmo's trying to do push into both right now. Obviously, the large percent, I think it's 88% of the total balances on Venmo, like show up, and I think it's 10 days or 30 days later, the balances are gone. People are only using Venmo for small periods of time, instant payouts, instant withdrawals, transfers, that's it. But that's not what PayPal wants, right? If they can keep the balances on those accounts, that is how they're going to monetize very well. All right. Now, let's get into some Amazon, because that news is even much more exciting. They continue to show off cooler and cooler launches for different products, okay? The first one probably being what ended up happening. Sorry, let me just change this really quickly. Boy, oh boy, that's distracting. Okay, was this news right here. Amazon just announced plans to invest $10 billion in North Carolina for AI innovation. I don't know why I was pronouncing that so wrong. But I couldn't find too much on this, aside from this is most likely AI factories. They also talked about making more AI-sided products, like probably similar to what Johnny Ives is doing at I.O. that Sam Altman just acquired. Probably something along those lines. They just announced a new employee group called 01, where they're trying to make new consumer technologies. Potentially, that's also tied into a lot of their AI investments. Okay. Then, alongside that, there was also this piece of news. Amazon just launched a new agentic AI team inside of Lab 126 R&D unit, the group behind devices like Kindle and Echo. So I like the idea of a new agentic AI team. That could be very exciting, but obviously, we'll have to see how that plays out. Right now, it just seems so early that it's sort of very hard to imagine. Amazon also in the past week also pushed out their Vulcan robots, which was their robots that have a sense of touch. Actually, I think I can get you guys a video. I did see a video recently. Maybe I can find it. And pretty interesting. So to help with packing of their actual items that they have through Amazon FBA, that if they have a Vulcan robot that can grab the boxes, close them, and then we'll talk here in a second about the next phase that Amazon is looking at. But Amazon is probably the best positioned company in the world, potentially other than Nvidia, for things such as artificial intelligence benefits through better advertising, better, helping with conversion and selection of new products for people that might be interested, helping accelerate, and they're already doing this part, helping accelerate merchants to get onto the platforms, right? Helping with signing up and understanding their segments that they want to sell in. So that's also really interesting. Then you look at the factory side, because they're doing all the logistics. You have potentially autonomous vehicles. You have physical AI, so like humanoid robotics. You have specialized robots, like what you see Amazon using a lot, like those little Roomba things that slide underneath the pallets, lift them up, or sort of the robotic arms, right? All of these different things are like very interesting innovations that are right here and right now that go to benefit Amazon, and all of them tie together for Amazon. There's some companies that benefit from some, Amazon seemingly benefiting across all of them. Absolutely love this video. You could see how they're able to go in, select items, put it on the conveyor line, out we go. Right? So pretty interesting. We'll have to continue to see, but it looks to be that they continue to autonomize more of their overall factories. Very interesting. That lowers total cost of or like removing the cost of human capital and replacing that with Teva said, was there anything in the fireside? I heard it was a snooze fest. I mean, it was. We could talk about that later. I think there was only like 2 pieces in there that I hadn't heard before. But overall, yeah, I mean, it was more of like an investor day where we got to re-listen to things that we already knew. Going back to Amazon, though, really quickly, the last piece, which we just got confirmation on, was Amazon's want to deploy Rivian trucks that one day will be fully autonomous. And inside those Rivian trucks, they want to have delivery humanoid robots. Imagine that world. Eh? This is what Evan Stock Market was talking about on our recent podcast that happened a couple hours ago. But this is just absolutely insane. I mean, imagine a future where Amazon benefits from third-party companies or even themselves. You can also have Amazon Basics and these sort of things, their own product. But third-party companies sign up. They'll take a percentage. They'll also facilitate the actual packing of those things through Amazon FBA. They will use autonomous robots and specialized robots to get the products out of the factories, or out of the logistics warehouses into last mile delivery. And then literally the last 10 steps would also be done like fully autonomously. Kind of freaking crazy, honestly. Now, the reason why I bring all this up, I am an Amazon shareholder, but it's not even just that. I think that the real benefit here overall is just artificial intelligence and the real winners there. Now, Dan Ives seems to have his picks. You can actually see almost all of them on this list, but an ETF with 30 AI holdings that will look to benefit the most from this next big wave of artificial intelligence. I hold a lot of these companies, funnily enough. But that being said, I think this is a little bit weird. An ETF that a company puts out about one of their top analysts, and I don't mean top analysts in terms of performance, but mainly top analysts based on popularity, is now getting an ETF that they are going to try to profit off of. I mean, this is the sort of things that happen near the top, sadly. And I don't usually look for these types of indicators for me to make decisions on, but it definitely was not, this was not a welcome sight in my opinion. I mean, sure, I'm happy it's not going to change the fundamental performance of Nvidia. In fact, it'll actually look to potentially even boost the multiples of the company to some tiny marginal degree. But I did think that this was quite interesting. And I mean, honestly, the stocks that are in here, I like. I mean, Nvidia, Apple, whatever, Amazon, Meta, Google, AMD, Micron, Salesforce, TSM, ServiceNow. Love all these names. Palantir, Broadcom, Oracle. Love it. But careful about frothiness. That's all I'll say. The CNBC pushed ETF. Yeah. Chris might be right. Yeah. Because there's no leverage on this fund, we might be okay. Okay. One thematic ETF, no problem. We start leveraging Wall Street's popular analysts, ETFs, we're done. We're done. Okay. So, overall, add on what we're seeing in terms of demand from Microsoft, or sorry, not Microsoft, Amazon. Then add on Microsoft's need for power. Match that with Meta's new need for power, as both Meta signs a contract with Constellation Energy to say, hey, why don't we end up using one of your Illinois nuclear plants for 20 years to power our future endeavors in artificial intelligence? Would love that. Thank you. We're going to build massive data centers, and we want cheap, clean energy. Love that. What does that mean for Nvidia? Way more chips to be purchased. Okay. And in order for their large competitors, like potentially not directly in their same field, but in similar tech fields, Google, Microsoft, AWS, right? They need to also stay at that level of investment so then they don't fall behind in this race. So all of these companies, especially the ones that are running large LLMs like OpenAI, we have OpenAI's ChatGPT and everything like this, and then Llama, Anthropic's Claude, Google's was there Gemini, all of these ones. In order for them to stay tip top and be top models, they need to invest similar CapEx going forward. If that's going to continue over multiple years, this is a 20-year deal, ladies and gentlemen, 20-year deal. If they're going to keep up this massive investment over time, are we seeing a slowdown for NVIDIA's chips over time? It doesn't really feel like it. Seems like Meta is very happy knowing that this is going to be a long-term strategy. Pretty freaking great. Yield Max Ives ETF. Yeah. That one would be up there. Okay. Now, let's quickly also talk about, Meta, by the way, just really quick to add on to that. Meta also said that they're fully planning to automate making ads using artificial intelligence. They actually plan to do that this year. Okay. The one thing that I want to talk about artificial intelligence on is right now it's just like a battle of making the models smarter and smarter, but it's going to be almost like cryptocurrency in a way where that race happened and people got very excited, but then the next part of it will be usability. Okay. The actual apps that are going to be making real changes. And I think that'll come quick because for the most part, those apps will make themselves using artificial intelligence, especially as the products get better. And you see companies like OpenAI kind of not give up on the race, but not try to just be the top model every single month, but actually try to push out products that people want to use today. Right? You see that in codecs, or you see that in the image generation, and other companies have done in image generation as well, but like none of them are remotely good enough. Um, Imagine 3, I'm sorry, or are we on Imagine 4 now? Kind of sucks. I don't know about you guys. I've tried to use it for some of my things. Comparatively to ChatGPT, it doesn't even compare. Um, and that real usability means that the benchmarks that they're hitting for uh, science fields and mathematics and coding and all of these things kind of go out the door for me as a creative. And so, like, I'd be leaning more towards ChatGPT for some of those types of products, and a lot of the other freelance, more artistic style, you know, jobs will actually need more of their model versus Gemini or even Claude for that for those types of reasons. So, overall, though, all of this just means that Nvidia is going to be selling more chips. Now, there was a rumor yesterday. I actually tweeted this out that China might be, or sorry, America might be exploring a an allowance of selling a downgraded Blackwell chip to China. Which seems crazy to me. I would just open the Hopper architecture completely for China, or even allow the H20s. I mean, why would you ban the H20s, which is a downgraded Hopper chip, and then say, oh, by the way, we'll allow a downgraded Blackwell chip instead? Seems a little twisted, but it's just a rumor right now. No real confirmation on this just yet. If that does happen, though, guys, I'm telling you, that race, the poll that we put up yesterday between SoFi to 25, Robinhood to 100, Robinhood to 100, or Nvidia to 200, Nvidia will have a very good shot at actually reaching those goals. You know, they would have to come out with a very strong, revision on their overall fiscal 2026. Now, some people get confused. If you actually just look, like, not every company in the world is running on the same quarter. Okay. NVIDIA's Q1 of 2026. We always say 2025 just because it's easier to remember, because that's what every other company is on. But anyway, it's just because their month is a little off. They show the next 3 months. But anyway, I've not been live all day long. Just later in the day. I've been live later. But yeah, overall, I just think that it's quite exciting what's happening for Nvidia, and the possibilities are so freaking high. We're actually seeing retail kind of dump off. I saw a tweet from Amit showing off this report that retail is actually the ones that are heavily selling Nvidia, and it's Wall Street that's picking up all the shares, because I think that retail has a hard time seeing that a company can go to $4 or $5 trillion, where I think Wall Street more looks at it just from a multiples perspective, that if they continue to make more and more money, and the total addressable market for the products that they're capturing gets larger and larger, there's no cap in terms of their overall growth. They could be a $20 trillion company one day. It sounds ridiculous to say out loud, but it really is, if it means that they're bringing in $1 trillion of earnings. It'd only be a 20x. Why SoFi moving sideways always? I think it's mainly just, sentiment right now. I don't think people know what to expect for next quarter. As we get closer, like, we don't even have May numbers for traffic yet. That could change a lot of people's perspectives. Friday, we might end up getting into like the S&P 400 index or something like this. These types of, perspective changes can happen very, very fast. I know I keep saying this, but it will be the case. Third time today. Sagig, I'm here for you, brother. If you're watching, I'm live. Covered call premiums on SoFi have been trashed. Yeah, because people don't expect the stock to move. But, I just did a podcast with Brad Freeman, which actually a lot of you guys showed up to. I appreciate that. The first episode that we did of our weekly show, I don't think was as well received as our next episode. So a lot of you guys actually turned out, and I really do appreciate that. Giving some love to some of my other co-hosts on that stream, Brad Freeman and Evan Stock Market News. You can also see the calmness that other investors like Brad, who have been very long-term SoFi shareholders, have been, just in terms of what they're looking for. He's not panicking. He's not calling it a tech company. He's not worried about these sort of things. It's a long-term hold. And as he said, some of the best companies to buy and hold are the boring ones. But there's nothing going to be boring about the actual fundamentals. It's just potentially what you may see on some of their fireside chats, I guess. Either way. Damn, you're up late. Why doesn't Evan show his face? He likes anonymity. I've met Evan in real life many times. He's a normal guy. But he likes his privacy, and I respect that. I believe that SoFi CMA Fest will be great awareness. That's awesome. I like that. They clearly do well with those in-person type events, like sponsoring CMA, or like TGL was a smash success for them, supposedly. SoFi Stadium definitely was a smash success. They've been paying it off in spades every single year. I don't think that that's going to slow. Yeah. Okay, let's see what other questions. Their targeted marketing is insane, especially in the sports space. Yeah, another thing that I heard from SoFi, or from a lot of people in the States at least, is that they've been doing a lot of TV advertising as well. And now this is where I think that, like, on X, and Brad brought this up, is like, in a space of our peers, we see the same people constantly, and they're talking about Robinhood or the different products there. But then if I were to ask my girlfriend, for example, what bank she uses, or what are her friends using, I guarantee you it would not be the same as what I'm seeing from my audience. And so, but my dollars are, like, they're all potentially US dollars, right? And that's really important. So if SoFi can attract an audience that is potentially young professionals that are coming out of school, looking for houses, have direct deposits, getting good jobs, large six-figure positions, then they're fine. They're going to continue to grow. But that's not to the detriment of Robinhood either. I think both will do well. Do you get paid from SoFi? Not a freaking dime. They don't even talk to me. The best payment they could give me is coming on my podcast. They don't even talk to me. I think they think that I'm a brand risk. The last thing that they would want to do is, pay me or something like this. Also, I've been offered probably 5-6 times to push companies. Terrible businesses, by the way. What's so funny about companies that come to you saying that they want you to push their stock? Never, not once, are they any good. Those companies suck. Okay, they're always trash. Their fundamentals suck, and it's probably because a large percentage of their sales and marketing budget, or whatever they want to put that under, because I think it's actually illegal, goes towards, hey, why don't you pump our business rather than focusing on the actual company that will attract customers later on. You couldn't find another company to brag about? In this episode, I've bragged about PayPal doing well, and I don't even hold it. Meta, which is doing well, and I don't hold it. Amazon, which is doing great, and I do hold it, and Nvidia. Just in this last 24 minutes. I don't know how to help you. I will say, as a new grad who uses SoFi with direct deposit, I'm not a fan of their invest. It's very clunky feeling compared to Robinhood, and doesn't feel to update as well. Yeah, no, I absolutely think that's true. I think that's going to change a lot over the next 12 months. I think that in the last little bit since acquiring Technisys, we knew that there was going to be roughly a 2-year transition period for SoFi after they acquired Technisys. After the last month or so, we've started to see a lot of updates on SoFi Invest. I think that's going to get better quickly. And I could be wrong, but it doesn't feel that way. Tanner, I thought you couldn't get a joint SoFi account. It looks like you can now. Well, that's great. I thought that you could before, but maybe I was wrong. JSL says, I like your style. Okay. I'm glad we could squash that. PayPal is Elon Musk's trash. No one uses no more. No use, no more. Yeah, I mean, 435 million people or something like this still use today. And their members are actually growing. And their monthly actives are growing faster than their members are. So I know that there's some sentiment that people want to go off, but really, I think data is much more useful than opinion. I still think future-based, all we have is opinion. So that's important. And PayPal could shrink over time. But I think that that depends on like how fast they're moving. Over the last 5 years, I'd say that their pace of innovation has been really slow. Okay. Over the last 5 years. In the last 12 months, or even last 18 months, I think that it's been very fast, like very fast. And so if they can keep compounding with this new management, it's not like things have stayed the same and I'm expecting change. Okay. By the way, I'm not a shareholder, but new management breeds a potential new outcome. So to hold them to an old standard based on new guidelines, I don't know. I don't really agree with that. I actually just watched something that Alex Chris just posted, and now I've never seen the Postman API awards, but this one was still cool. The best API awards went to 5 separate companies: Zendesk, Salesforce, X, Meta, and actually at number 2, PayPal. Okay, that beat out on over, Google, UPS, Uber, Siemens, Moneris, DocuSign, Cisco, all of these other businesses. So I think that they're doing okay right now. With Zelle and all innovation in mobile banking, PayPal basically adds nothing. I think what people really like about PayPal is the fact that, many checkouts offer it. Extremely trusted brand. They're protecting people's data with like 0 data breaches. So people who have used PayPal in the past just absolutely trust it. They've got higher conversion rates, higher auth rates than what other checkouts have. So merchants, even though it costs a lot more for them, they're still willing to add it because they know that it can convert higher user bases, right? Even for my own course, like if you go to checkout on the course, you'll be offered, hey, you can, put your data in if you want and just put in a card data, or you have PayPal. And I pay a much higher rate for offering PayPal than I do the other way around. But the reason why I continue to offer it is because some customers say, if there's no PayPal, I don't want to do it. And that's confusing for some people. But checkout's a really interesting thing, and I've learned a lot in checkout. And like, if you have manual entry, a lot of people think about their decision. They go, well, you know what? I got to actually do these things, and bills are coming up, and I got to get Christmas presents, and I'll worry about it later. Getting this product took me 4 minutes, right? Whereas the same similar thing of one-click buying or two-click buying, one-page checkouts, these sort of things, actually can increase the chance that someone buys, okay, by upwards of 35, 40%. Imagine a business that makes 35 to 40% more sales because of a better checkout experience. It seems mind-blowing, but that's why people use PayPal, because the customers trust it, they like it, it's fast, it already has their information, and merchants want to follow where the customers are. I love PayPal for the free 6 months no financing. Um, Tanner, are you buying Chime's IPO on June 6th? I've got a video coming out about that tomorrow. Tomorrow you will you'll see. Almost time for a hoodie call? I don't know what that is. Former PayPal employee here. They don't just have the culture to succeed in e-commerce on AI. Their talent, data, and infrastructure sucks. Have a second successful business is hard. Only few like Amazon. Sorry, say that again. Have a second successful business is hard. Only few like Amazon through AWS. Chetan, please write that out again. I'd love to know what you say from being from a former PayPal employee perspective. Are you talking about their second business being Venmo? What second business? What is PayPal's second business that you're saying that they're going after here? Both consumer and or like in person, and that's not a second business. Use ChatGPT to translate that. Yeah, I probably should, eh? Um, okay, a couple donations. JSL, $5. Thank you. Yes, that's squashed. Do you know anything about Big Bear AI? No. No, I don't follow them at all. Should I be? AI agents for commerce is not a new business. I disagree on that. That's for sure. Commerce and AI with hoodie. What are you guys talking about? How many hoodies are there? What are you guys talking about? Okay, BM's just spamming. did you put it through ChatGPT? Is this what it was? Or is just fully copied and pasted? What's a good source for daily fintech news? I don't know. I guess that's a hard thing to sort of like all in one. I mean, payments is probably one of them. There's a company online called Payments. They're like a blog sort of, or like aggregator of articles and stuff like this. They do mainly fintech stuff, crypto stuff. They're probably the first place you may want to start if you're really into just fintech in general. But honestly, I think it's like, I would not want to have my portfolio specifically in a growth style portfolio to be too far away from artificial intelligence, general artificial intelligence. Buy hood though, lol. Dude, your comments on this UI thing is crazy. Like, I don't know if you've used a traditional bank at all. Their mobile sites are not even close to the user experience that you have on SoFi. Like the whole like home feed, all of your information that you have for SoFi all in one thing, like that was completely their design. Um, it's like as modern as it gets. If you're just looking at SoFi Invest and comparing it to Hood, yes, SoFi is not going to feel as great. We understand that. Everyone knows this. Anthony Noto knows this. But that's really all you have. If you go to Robinhood's like cash management and then you go to SoFi Money, it's not even close. SoFi's UI has gotten much better. I just moved my direct deposit. Can't really trade from there though. Tasty Trade or Robinhood. Yeah, that's sort of what I've heard. All right, let's quickly convert over to Shift 4. Now, Shift 4 had a couple of different things that ended up happening. Okay, one, Trump decided that Jared Isaacman was not the nominee for like the NASA chief. Okay, he got dropped. Then there was some speculation, which I even thought was, all right, Jared Isaacman's going to resume his role back at Shift 4. Well, that's not exactly clear anymore. He's now what he just recently said on the All In podcast. He did an interview with David Freeberg, and he said, "I'm going to let Taylor Lauber continue his transition to CEO. That wouldn't be fair of him to not have that role, but I'm going to stay on and go back to work and try to aggressively grow that business because I've got nothing really else on my plate right now." In the event that he finds an opportunity to explore probably some space project, charity work, stuff like this, that he's going to heavily work towards those goals potentially in the future. But for now, Jared Isaacman is not taking his role back as CEO, but he is heavily working at Shift 4. So, in my opinion, I still think it's very, very positive news knowing that he doesn't have another job. I mean, I'm not an American. If I was, I'm extremely let down by the fact that he is not part of NASA. I mean, I find there's very few people in the world, like less than 1,000. I'm talking hundreds of people that could make serious difference. Okay. Jared Isaacman is one of those people. And to put him in a very, very serious position in government, one where he has extreme ideas where some of them will fail, some of them will 10x, wants to do things with budget very much on his mind, not looking for outside capital, keeping a tight ship like what we saw for the last 25 years at Shift 4 without any external funding for the first 20 years of the business. That's someone I would want personally if I was an American citizen. At the helm of, one of the most exciting, do you call it an arm of government or just a sort of government subsidized awesome project? But yeah, it is super disappointing. It seemed completely political. Yeah, it was dumb. And part of this article that I was reading is that some of this might have been because of Elon Musk and him potentially stepping away. I don't know. That's not the part that I care to cover as much as the fact that the companies that we could potentially invest in, like Shift 4, ticker symbol FOUR, could continue to do well over time. Are you dropping 100 shares on Hood at 72 like Mitt? Do you mean by dropping, do you mean buying more or do you mean selling? Is Amit selling 100 shares? I don't really believe that. Elon Musk was wise to step away. Yeah, I mean, especially if you're a shareholder of one of his businesses. I would also appreciate him going back to work full time. Yeah. If I was an American citizen, I would think it's important for him to tackle one of America's largest problems, which is a growing debt crisis. And it is a straight up crisis. So yeah. You think Elon is on drugs though? I don't think I care. Like personally, like, does it matter? If he's getting work done, as long as he's doing right by the people that he's serving, that's what I think is important. If you think that the products he's putting out or whatever, I mean, if Elon's doing coke, that's sick. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, he turned out to be like a legitimate fraud, okay? But boy, oh boy, did drugs put that guy to work. And if I was an investor in FTX, I would kept telling him, you know what? Keep doing what you got to do until you find out that he's just an actual criminal. Elon Musk is finding my books, doing whatever drugs he's got to do to keep making EVs, potentially going to Mars, cutting debt, advancing brain-computer interfaces. What else has he got? Digging holes in the ground. What else? What's he got? What am I missing? Yeah. Boring, Neuralink, SpaceX, Tesla. What am I missing? I said Neuralink. Boring company. SpaceX, Tesla, Doge, XAI. Thank you. XAI. That's what it is. Yeah, did you guys see the report today about Tesla's maybe next venture might be drones? And that could be very true, which is interesting. I still think that the company is overvalued, but honestly, their potential for growth is insane. And the further that Elon steps away from government, the less key man risk I think that he has, and the less brand risk. I think it's better for an organization to be apolitical. Obviously, Elon himself can have very many views, or you know, the views that he wants. But whenever the CEOs become public figures, it can hurt the financials of the business. That's whenever I think it becomes poor. Whenever I said drones, by the way, I don't mean flying cars. I just mean like standard drones that you would end up seeing. He learned his lesson. There's no way Elon's going to go anywhere near any government anymore. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. This big, beautiful bill has got Elon Musk freaking out. And I mean, I would too. Like, why would you want to add trillions more onto a large deficit? Right. So, if things get worse, as I forget what podcast I just recently heard this in, but your wealth means nothing in a currency if that currency devalues. So him as the richest person needs to make sure that the country that is underlying all of his wealth, all of the businesses, it also stays afloat. And debt is the thing that bankrupts every business that goes under. It's the thing that tears apart governments and countries, and it's growing for America right now. And there's so many tiny parts, like even Jared Isaacman was talking about or highlighting, like even NASA is going out of its way to fund, rocket camps at small schools. And that doesn't seem like a big deal, but one camp turns into 10 camps, turns into 1,000 camps. And then you have this secondary project that has nothing to do with the actual goal of NASA that shouldn't be a part of its job at all, or even helping with like rocket propulsion solutions for private businesses. Like, the job of a private business is to solve those problems themselves. Why is it government's job to make sure that select businesses make it through their own problem solving parts of their business? I mean, like, but then, as Jared Isaacman said, like, he's talking to senators or councilmen or whatever and saying, okay, they're all coming to him saying, yeah, but my district has a couple of these rocket things, so why take those away? I mean, it's going to make no difference. But, in order for him to clean up some of the deficits and cut the budget, those very small things that seem good in nature is not good for the business of NASA. So, yeah. I think that would be very hard for anyone to come in, including Elon, and make severe change. New podcast with Stock Market Nerd. Yeah, no, it's live right now. We just recorded the second episode. We're doing live streams. It'll be usually on Tuesdays, but Brad's a busy guy, so we're gonna shift around the podcast to meet his schedule. I'm easy, so I'll be there every time, but it's really up to him. But yeah, that was really exciting. Learned a little bit more about the cybersecurity space. I have to continue to learn more about the space, but overall, it's one that we all know, like, as Brad sort of brought up, it's not discretionary spending at all. This is a necessity for every business, and it's going to become more of a necessity that you are paying for the most potentially even expensive but modern solution to protect against future or larger attacks that are even more advanced due to artificial intelligence. So you're going to kind of need artificial intelligence to defend against those potential new threats. So they're in an amazing business model of, like, growing in an area that is so needed. Now, Google just potentially purchased a $32 billion business. Hopefully. It's their second time trying to acquire this business. But, the exciting part about that is that they could also have a very large cybersecurity revenue stream, which would currently only be about $1 billion a year. But then next year it might be $2 billion and growing. Brad was cool today. Any plans to bring him on again? Yeah, it'll be a weekly show. He'll be back on every week. With no plans of stopping. As long as it stays fun, he'll continue to come back. And so far, it's been a lot of fun. But ladies and gentlemen, it's already been 50 minutes. I don't even realize how fast the time flies after these live streams. Let's make sure that I covered it. We really didn't even talk about Robinhood. Maybe that could be on another video. Get ready for my SoFi chime video tomorrow. Hopefully that'll be a good one for you guys. But thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. I got hiccups now. But bye for now.